Okay, welcome back. So I am on the third temptation, which is, I believe, um, the one, well, we could relate to all of them, but I believe this is a very powerful one that we should really think about what Jesus is trying to teach us. So, on the third temptation, again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all of the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And he said to him, all these things I will give thee if thou wilt it. Fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said to him, begone, Satan, for it is written, the Lord thou God shall thy worship, and him only shall thou serve. Then the devil left him, and behold, the angels came and ministered to him. Oh, the camera's mad close. Okay, so that right there, my friend, is I think we all understand what's going on here. Because first of all, you can only serve one God, okay? And that's going to be our Father in heaven. Sure ain't going to be Satan. Now, this is where the tricks come in. Where he told him to bow down and worship. Now, you have to be very careful. There's different ways of worshiping the devil without even knowing it. So we're going to talk about this right now. We have to remember this world is not our kingdom, okay? The glory in this world is not ours. This is all the devil's playground. And I always say that. It's very, very true. All the money, all the flesh, all the temptations, all the things that look sparkly and glittery and you want it, all the things that they throw in your face on TV, like this is a must-have, all the internet stuff, like from the models and all of these crazy things that are thrown in our face as a distraction to keep us away from glorifying our Father in heaven, from worshiping our Father in heaven. We end up falling into the life of the world, and you bow down to Satan without even knowing it. Some people do know it. They straight up do witchcrafts and spells and do all of these things to get the glory of the world. Now, we have to be very careful because it's easy to fall into this without even knowing you're doing it, like I said, because especially with the internet world, it's very easy. These young teenagers, even the adults, will start off with the women. They're being they're being led down the wrong path, thinking they have to be sexual. You have to show off everything. You have to get plastic surgery because God made you not perfect. You have to look a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way for society to love you and accept you for who you are and how perfect you are. And you're not even seeing it. You're beautiful. God doesn't make mistakes, okay? So get that in your mind. It's a false reality that they're creating. And then you end up worshiping the devil. You feel like you got to wear 10 pounds of makeup. You got to wear the most tightest clothes. You got to get your booty done. You got to get your boobies done. You got to get your lip fillers. You got to get all of these things to fit into society. And we get lost into worshiping ourselves and the devil by glorifying ourselves. Okay? So that's one thing. With the men, you feel like you need all of these shiny things for women to love you. You need a lot of women instead of settling down with one. This ain't all men and women. I'm saying this is the majority of people. You have to have muscles and look a certain way for women to want you. You gotta the more bodies you have, men and women, the better you are. Which they call bodies nowadays, which I didn't even know until we won't get into that story. Well, I guess since I bring it up, I didn't know what bodies were, like, because I'm not really into how many partners you have, but that's basically what it means. And when I was a manager over a bunch of teenagers, when I worked over at Walmart, one of these kids had the nerve to ask me in front of another kid, how many bodies you had, Erica? And me thinking, I didn't kill nobody. What you talking about bodies? Because where I came from, bodies is like body count of like gangster talk. Like how many people you killed and stuff. And I'm like, what is, and then no, not that. And I was like, oh, and then when they said it to me, I was like, wow, you should just go wash your mouth with soap, because that ain't even cute. You're basically telling me you're a dirty little thing. That's what you're telling me. It's better to like not have a big body count and to basically hold yourself for the person you love. Like, and if you did have a big body count, basically stop those ways and then hold yourself for one person that you love. You know, it's not cool to go around sleeping with 1 million people. That's nothing clean about that. But that falls into the world of sin. They make it look like it's something cool, you know, and it's not. Worrying about what clothes you wear, worrying about all of these things. Now, I'm not saying wake up and don't brush your teeth and wear something nice and clean, of course. But you don't have to get the freshest gear and be a slave to that. You don't have to be a slave to the world. People spending, where I came from, people spend a whole paycheck on some Jordans and stuff. Like, do you see what you're doing? You're living for the world. You're bowing down to Satan, and he's sitting back laughing at how we're acting. Instead of just bowing down to the one and only true God, your Father in heaven, that will give you the things you need to survive in this world. And guess what? When you die and you get to go to the real kingdom, that's where the real happiness is. That's where it is. So, like, we have to understand this. He said, "Begone, Satan, for this is written, the Lord thou God shalt thou worship, and only shalt thou worship." Then the devil left him, and behold, the angels came to minister him. So this is important right here, right after the devil bounced, because God will send us an army to fight behind us. Okay? He will send those angels to fight the war behind us, because we're in a spiritual war in this crazy world because of all the temptations. And when you're choosing not to sin, well, it's hard not to sin, but when you're choosing to fight temptations and sin, and you're doing your very best, God will send an army of angels to back you up and protect you. You're not alone. He loves you. Your Father is not going to let you do it alone. You know? So don't worry about what people think of you and how they want to judge you and stuff. Don't worry about all that. Just focus on the main thing, is your Father in heaven, Jesus. That's it. Just stay focused. Don't get lost into this world of temptation and sin. It ain't worth it. Because guess what? All these things that you think you have, look at all these famous people that are worshiping the devil. Some of them not even knowing it, some straight up knowing it. Look at a lot of rich people. They act like they're happy, but in reality, all that bling bling and all that clothes and all them women you slept with and men you slept with and all the lifestyle you're choosing, you're still fighting depression, you're still fighting sadness and all of these things inside, because the devil can't provide that. He can't provide that. He's a liar. And he will only give you things that are shiny and deceiving. Okay? Stay focused. If you want true happiness, it ain't in this world. Serve your Father in heaven. He will give you the happiness you have never felt before. It's a feeling, even through the hardest times, you still feel comfort. The love, the patience he has for us. And it doesn't matter how much you sinned or what you did in this world. He is willing to have his arms open if you're ready to turn from those sinful ways and turn to him and just focus on him and step out of the world of sin. Step out of the world of, I'm going to live for this world, you know? Because when you die, all these material things are staying right here, and it did nothing for your soul. Where's your soul at right now? Forget your human physical body in this world. Think about where your soul is at right now. Okay? That's really important, people. Like, we got to think about this. The glories of this world ain't nothing compared to the glories of the kingdom of heaven where Jesus is. Don't you guys want to be there? When you die, don't you want to be there with Jesus? Because I sure do. I don't care about this world. Okay? I don't. And I have to live in it. I have to pay my bills. And we have to follow the law. But I sure don't have to go get my boobies done, your butt done, how many body counts you got, how much pounds of makeup. Like, you're a slave. And a lot of people I don't want to follow Jesus. There's too many rules of the Christian community. There's too many rules. Is there? Because think about what you're doing for the rules of the world to fit in, and how much it's draining you, and how it's sucking your soul dry. And at the end of the day, you're not happy. Women, my beautiful sisters, from young to old, do you feel confident enough in your own skin to go to the grocery store to get a gallon of milk without putting something on that's showing your whole curves, and putting 20 pounds of makeup on just to get some milk? You are a slave to society. Think about it. I'm not trying to be a rude person. I'm not. Like, I'm coming straight up. Like, this is how I look. Like, I got blemishes. I got zits. I had a zit right here I mess with. Like, like, look, a zit right there. I don't care. You don't like it, keep it moving. Like, I ain't here to try to please the world. God don't care about my zits. God don't care about what kind of clothes I wear. God don't care about any of that kind of stuff, but he cares about your spirit and your heart, you know? And I'm not saying you don't have to dress nice or look nice, but don't make it something you worship. If you're going out to dinner with your friends or your loved ones and you want to put a little makeup on here and there and do your thing to look a little presentation going on, that's good. Cleanliness is next to godliness. But you don't have to buy that $1,000 sweatshirt because that's the new popular thing. Okay? That's what I'm going at here. Have balance. And make sure most of the scale, like if this was a scale and here's the world and here is God, where is your scale leaning towards? Like, the one that's going to go low is the one you're leaning towards because it's the heaviest. Are you in the world? Are you for God? So that's how you got to determine. Sit back, think about where you're at in life and where your scale is leveled. And if you die right this second, ask yourself, are you worthy to go to the kingdom? Now, just because you say, oh, I love Jesus, you just got to accept Jesus in your heart. He's my Savior. He's got the blood of Jesus all over me. I'm saved because I accept him as my Savior. Okay, that's one thing. But there's one thing of just saying it and actually living and fulfilling what he's teaching us and trying our very best. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect because we are not perfect. That's why in the Old Testament, people bring, they had their altars and they did sacrifices and things that they did for their sins. Jesus was that perfect sacrifice for us. But for the New Testament. But you have to turn from your ways and follow him the best you can in your footsteps and live for God, not the world. You have to live for God. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about impressing people, because at the end of the day, they ain't paying your bills. They ain't doing any of that. Love yourself. Put God first. And just, you will feel happiness and you will feel free. Before I get off really quickly, I want to tell you, little did I know I was worshiping, obviously, the devil without even knowing it, because I was doing the New Age stuff, which was common sense, Reiki and crystal work and shamanism and breatharians and you name it. I was trying to do it. I had psychic abilities. I could read people's auras. I was doing it all, thinking I had some type of power, and it was just false. It was all distraction from the real glory of God. So I cut that out. But now let's talk about the regular person. I was glorifying my hair. Like my curls, I made sure they were popping. I made sure I had the best, freshest haircut. Like, made sure it's looking right. Making sure everything, no frizz, no nothing. Like, my hair was everything. I always got compliments on it. People love my hair. And I love my hair. And I would not walk out this house without having my hair looking right. Like, I would get products, thousands of dollars worth of products. Excuse me. Then you have to switch up the products because your hair gets used to the products. I was putting all my time and energy into this. Having multiple people lust over my hair, from men and women. Like, and it was all a distraction. I was following different Facebook pages, reading different, watching different YouTube things, reading nothing about hair, how to keep it fresh. Is that hair going to get me to heaven? Heck no, that ain't going to get me to heaven. I'm living for the world. The distractions. I throw my hair cover on and I could care less. Now, this helped me cut down that ego thing. Like, I love wearing this. I don't worry about my hair. And you know what? When I wash my hair, which I do every day, but when I take it out and it's dry and I have it, it's here and my husband can enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he loves it. Sometimes he looks at me, he's like, did you do something different? Like, what's going on? I was like, no, because I got my hair covered all the time. So when I have it out, he's like, whoa, you know. But and it's the importance also. I'll make a video on hair covering, because it is in the Bible, and it's up to you if you feel like that's something you want to follow or not. You don't have to, but to be before God and pray to Him, it's important to have your hair covered. It's like a sign of respect as a woman. But anyway, we'll get more into that another time. I find that the third temptation, all of them are very important. God allowed Himself to be in this state of weakness to show us He understands. And He also understands you have the power and the choice to say no, 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 no. And to say, Jesus, yes, 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 yes. Okay? There's no excuse but choices. God bless you guys.